How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Two Nerds, a podcast. I'm Buddy the Bruiser, and to my left here is Dynamite Jared Latchy. Jared, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well.
We got some listeners last week. Some
couple listeners.
People actually listened to the fucking podcast. I can't believe it. How many views did it get on YouTube so far?
So far we're at about 130, I believe.
130. I saw 94 yesterday.
So it went up quite a bit.
So Jesus. Well, I think that's probably a lot of that is like people listening, like listen to like 10, 15 minutes at a time and then come back to it later.
Yeah.
Probably.
So, but regardless, I mean, thanks to everyone who came and checked it out. We really appreciate everyone who took the time to listen to us talk for a little bit. Shout out to our producer, Jake, for writing our theme song and stuff.
And queuing up our voices and making sure that everything sounded good, even though I guess last week we didn't sound that good. I think we're addressing that issue this week. It's hard for me to tell as I speak right now.
But we're hoping it sounds a little
Hopefully it sounds better. We actually wrapped this podcast already.
A couple hours ago.
We did this already, and when we played it back, there was a strange noise happening
with one of the microphones.
So it was another hour and a half fucking podcast. So maybe a blessing in disguise. We're gonna do this again. We're gonna try and make it sound as organic as possible. But if you hear any inauthenticity, if there's a lack of authenticity in how we're talking, just let us know in the comments section. Before we move on any further,
just a couple housekeeping things, I suppose, we should talk about. Jared, do you want to discuss the audio boom situation?
So last week when we announced the podcast and we did a fucking tremendous trailer, an excellent trailer, we lit my tape room up very well, and then
I lit his tape room.
Buddy lit the tape room up extremely well, and then we stood there awkwardly. And one of the worst promos of all time.
Blooper reel coming soon, maybe.
and so we announced that we would be doing this podcast on audioboom.com. Well, audioboom.com apparently is a little bit out of our league, buddy. We have to apply unless we pay them, which
is a thing
potentially. So we have to apply to audioboom.com for them to carry our podcast.
And we did not know that when we announced it. We just thought you signed up and you were good to go.
So the application is in, and we're just waiting for them to get back to us. They probably won't. But I've checked out some other podcast websites to see if they'll host the show. There's some free options, but at the length that we do our podcast, doing it for free just doesn't seem realistic. So we might have to pay for a little while here, unless you guys spread the word and get this podcast to be the biggest podcast
of all time. The biggest two nerds. Because apparently we found this out too during our week off, that there's actually
some competition.
We have some competition for the name Two Nerds. There's actually couple other podcasts named that, so this might be the first and last episode officially that's called Two Nerds. So tweet to us at the hashtag Super Saiyan Godcast, pitch us your names. We might choose it.
We might stay with Two Nerds because none of them are exactly the same, but we'll see what goes on. If you guys come up with any good ideas, we will change the name. We are absolutely not married to the name.
We're not at all.
Two Nerds.
We're actually discussing the possibility of unpopular opinion because me and Jared share some very unpopular opinions with the mass audience.
I feel like we need to bring Miles on as a regular.
The casual person.
If the name of the show is Unpopular Opinion, then absolutely Miles needs to be a staple of the podcast.
Because he's the unpopular opinion of the unpopular opinion.
He is the unpopular opinion master. And we could talk about this more, but we're trying to keep this under an hour and a half, so
we will try our best. Another name possibility came up if we were both female, the Haram Bays.
But we are not females.
But we are not females, so it doesn't work. So if any of you lovely ladies out there want to start a podcast, I would highly suggest using the Harambe's as your name.
Harambe's, as in
Yes.
Baes.
Yes.
There at the end, like, you know, I'm not going to go into it. I actually don't even like that word.
It's not a very good word.
Bay. I don't know. I've just never been into that. I mean, one day I'll have my own bay, and maybe
Maybe
I'll be,
someday.
Like, I don't know.
It'll happen someday.
Yeah. So, anyways,
So anyway, this week we got some interesting topics to cover. Some movies, some wrestling, some I don't know what else you want to talk about.
I mean, that's basically what we have. I think for this week is some movies and some wrestling.
We've been realizing very much so that we're very out of touch with the gaming culture. So next week we might actually be having our friend Rick the Dick Pizer joining
Rick the Dick.
joining us on the show
That's good.
to keep us up to date with some of the games that are going on. Because really the only game I'm familiar with right now is Pokemon Go, and then the quick researching we did in preparation for this podcast. But we'll probably discuss that more next week with the PlayStation VR and the Zelda.
So, buddy, I know that you've been working, and I know we can't really talk about that.
Yes.
But you've been out and
I've
about.
been out and about.
Have you caught any good Pokemon in this past week?
I actually just got my data turned back on Monday.
Oh,
so the Pokemon
no.
hunting has been very scarce for me. But yeah, before that, I mean, I was playing for like a month straight, but I ran out of data. So I haven't played in a while, but I'm hoping to soon. But yeah, I have been working a ton out in Cleveland for about 14 hours a day, 5 days a week. Not supposed to say what it is, but if you check my IMDb or know anything about the film industry in Cleveland, I mean, you probably know what it is. So
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
It's a huge deal. So if you know anything about film at all, you know what Buddy is doing right now. This is huge. This is absolutely huge.
If you say so.
I've been getting, actually, I got one inquiry, Buddy, about your movie. It's not freaking Unlucky. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah, go
oh
ahead.
My God. It's
My feature film,
Yes,
directed with my good friend Keegan last summer.
Yeah, we talked about it last week. I got a couple questions about it. Not from me personally, just wondering if you have any updates on a Blu-ray or DVD release, because some people that have listened to the podcast have heard of this illustrious movie, and they're wondering where they can see this.
They are wondering where they can see it. Okay. Well, as of right now, we are actually working on the final audio mix for it. When you're listening to it on a computer, like when we were mixing it, it sounded fine. But the first time we played it, like in a theater, there were a couple issues. So we're still working on getting everything sorted out for the DVD and Blu-ray release. It's kind of been on hold for a little bit this summer just because people's schedules are so conflicting. So it's hard to get everyone in the same room that needs to be there. So I'm aiming for a fall, maybe winter release for this one. So that's when you'll be able to see it. It will be available for purchase, and we're looking into sites like Netflix and Hulu Plus and all that kind of stuff.
Good
so
Lord.
We're
the big leagues. Jesus
we're
Christ.
trying. We're trying. We don't know.
We're over here on Two Nerds a Podcast right now. We can't even find a goddamn website to host our damn podcast. Buddy Candela, Ashtabula's most decorated director, is talking to Netflix and Hulu right now, and we can't even get a damn podcast website. You need to pull some strings for us, buddy.
We'll see what happens once it gets released, I guess. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Absolutely. So anyways, you were saying Rick the Dick Pizer.
Rick the Dick Pizer.
Ricky Too Good on Twitter. I think that's his name.
Ricky Too Good.
Ricky Too Good. And that's
he doesn't
what he likes
follow
to call
me,
himself.
so
He adamantly defended himself after listening to last week's podcast. Oh, I'm not a dick. Oh, you know,
he knows he's a dick.
Your name is Ricky Too Good, so I mean, like, let's go.
And he did clarify the floor situation. If you guys remember last week in the podcast, I said
there was a hole.
There was a hole in the stage at the Hotspot show, and that's what I was referring to. So Ricky clarified that. Shout out Ricky.
You know, so Ricky will be joining us on the podcast next week, hopefully, unless something terrible happens. Ricky will be joining us on the podcast to talk video games. Ricky is, I think I said this last week, he's extremely passionate about his gaming, and he is up to date with all this gaming news, so he'll be on here talking to us. And I know we started saying that earlier, but we drifted off, so I just wanted to finish that thought. He'll be on here, and
because really, me and Jared have too many hobbies to really keep up with everything.
way too many hobbies. I'm just sitting here watching movies, watching wrestling, and
I'm out here working on movies.
Watching wrestling, and I got to keep up on my Twitter. I got to make sure that I have a consistent flow of funny memes going out on my Twitter
on a regular
page.
basis.
Yes.
And also, we might be adding in a couple weeks something new to the table. We're looking to get some videos made. Start getting some new series going on YouTube, and hopefully you guys check it out. More info on that later. We still have some.
Hopefully it goes better than our
podcast.
our promo package that we did for our that we did for our podcast. I think last week's podcast was pretty solid. To the people that listened to it, they said
I was getting some positive
feedback. It was good, unless they're extremely
lying
nice.
to us.
I did not get any new Twitter followers though.
I did not either, but I did not ask for any.
I definitely asked. And
so if you follow me but don't follow Jared, go follow Jared.
I know Buddy has several fans that are listening to this podcast that you need to give me a follow. I'm, as one commenter stated, pretty cool. I seem pretty cool.
Yeah, so shout out to YouTube commenters for saying hi to Jared and checking out the podcast. One of the other comments was asking when I was going to do a movie review next. And again,
maybe sooner than
you think. So yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, me and Jared also have done some YouTube videos, so you guys should check those out if you're into that.
I haven't really done much of anything. I've done my Godzilla reviews.
Yeah, Jared did some Godzilla videos. I thought they were pretty entertaining. I've tried to keep it up on a regular basis, but I mean, I get pretty busy often, so it's hard to find time to even do a podcast, let alone a whole video. But yeah, check out my Space Jam video I just did. Check out anything on my channel or Jared's channel.
Don't check out anything on my channel.
Check out everything on Jared's channel.
There is some embarrassing stuff.
Especially the short films and the fucking Cinder Block Ice Bucket Challenge.
Okay, yeah. You can check out the Cinder Block Ice Bucket Challenge, my personal Ice Bucket Challenge. You can check those out. Steer clear of the Life of Dynamite Jared. Do not watch The Life of Dynamite Jared, for the love of God. Stay away from that one.
Speaking of Cinderblock,
I'll keep it up on there for you people. Fuck.
Yeah, speaking of Cinderblock, I was actually in touch with him, and he said that we could get an interview with him, but just Jared can't be in the room. So I might be flying solo on that one, just interviewing Cinderblock. So
good luck with that.
We saw a couple movies this week. First one we're going to talk about is the new horror film, which is generating a lot of buzz recently. A lot of good reviews from critics, and if you know anything about horror films, especially recent horror films, they're always panned by the critics. But this one has 70-something% on Rotten Tomatoes, I believe.
73, I want to say.
Which, for a horror film, is extremely good. The film is lights out. Now, Jared, we have some conflicting opinions about this film. We have some that are the same. Why don't you just go ahead and get us started? What's the plot of the film?
All right, so basically Lights Out is a movie about a family that is being haunted, I suppose, by, I guess haunted is kind of a flexible term here, haunted by a spirit that can only exist in the darkness. If you turn the lights on, this thing just...
It's gone.
It's gone. It's so mysterious. I don't know how this works, but... yeah, so there's a shadowy kind of a demon, I'll say, that can only exist in the darkness, and it's like kind of terrorizing this family a little bit. And that's basically the very simple premise, the stripped down version of what Lights Out is all about.
So, basically I saw this movie with no expectations whatsoever. I usually try to stay clear of trailers and stuff like that. I did see the trailer for this several months ago, but I completely forgot about it until I was watching the movie, because the first 5 minutes of the movie are just exactly what the trailer was. I watched it. I thought the movie was decent. I didn't think it was anything too special or original. There were a couple things I liked. There was a lot I didn't like. And if you follow Jared on Letterboxd, you know he gave it a solid 1.5 stars. Which, if it's anything under 2.5, you know Jared is not taken too kindly to this film.
I was not pleased.
So I guess let's just start with the positives real fast, and then we'll get into the negatives because there's a lot more negatives. So Jared, what did you actually like about the film?
So the positives of the movie is that the production values were decent. It seemed like a whatever.
I mean, it's a Hollywood movie.
Yeah, it was a Hollywood film, and so everything seemed pretty well done. Some of the makeup was good on the demon when the reveal was done. I can't recall if there was some CG involved with that as well, but I do recall a couple of practical effects and stuff that they were decent. The acting was good.
The acting was good. Especially with the guy who played the little boy. He was good. I mean, usually child actors are pretty hit and miss, but I think he did a solid job.
Yeah.
The production design was good. Saw some Slayer posters, some Avenged Sevenfold.
Some shouts out to our hard rock heavy metal subculture that we're a part of. So.
Hell yeah. Jared was actually looking for a Primus poster.
I don't know why. I have no idea why I was searching for a Primus poster in this the main character's, the female lead's apartment in this movie, but for some reason I just thought I would catch a Primus poster and I didn't. Kind of disappointing.
It's all right. What I liked about it, I mean, the premise isn't too original, but I think for like the casual horror fan, it's something that they haven't really seen before. I mean, me and Jared have been exposed to a lot of shit in our day, so we've seen a ton of horror movies. We know all the cliches. So yeah, but if you're a casual fan, and which I'm guessing a lot of you probably are, you'll probably like this movie fine. Jared had some critiques. I had some critiques. But yeah, overall, I thought it was pretty decent.
So, yeah, I think that this movie is just absolutely littered with modern horror cliches. Let's start with the actual monster, the demon ghost.
The demon looks like everything you've seen in every movie.
This is your typical fucking kind of tall, skinny, like female that has her stupid fucking hair that hangs down in her face and her extremely long fingers, which would be fantastic for palming a basketball and apparently fantastic for scaring small children. But, I've seen it all before. I've seen it in Mama, and it just seems like in every ghost movie that comes out nowadays, if it shows you the ghost or whatever, if it's a girl, it somehow ends up looking like this in one way, shape, or form. And when the monster is actually revealed at the end, like it kind of looks like a witch or something.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a witch.
Which I've seen a billion times too. Like, I don't know. So
here's the thing I don't understand. And this actually, I just thought of this. This isn't something that we discussed at all. Okay, so little spoiler warning here. If you wanna not listen to spoilers, I guess fast forward the podcast for a couple minutes, or just go see the movie and then come back. But okay, so
pause it right now.
Pause it right
now.
now.
Go see Lights Out. Come back.
So basically,
and see Suicide Squad while you're there if you haven't either, because we'll talk about that next.
So basically,
I don't want you to come all the way back.
And then have to go to the movies
and
again.
And then be like, all right, Suicide Squad now. Like, oh, I gotta
fucking go to the movies.
Jared, fucking bruising buddy, fuck.
So I'm actually gonna ask this to Jared because there are a lot of things in this movie that just don't add up. So the girl dies in the insane asylum, correct?
Oh, she fucking...
Okay, so she fucking dies.
She dies.
So she dies. She's about 13. So why is this demon that's possessing them a grown-ass woman? Does it age in death?
That's...
We didn't think about that.
Maybe she was just really fucking tall the whole time.
Not in those pictures we saw. She was shorter than the mom.
Listen, maybe those pictures were taken very early into her run, and she hit a growth spurt just before her death.
All right. So, what else didn't you like? There were all the cliches. I guess one of the biggest ones that like come to mind right now is there's a scene where the boyfriend and, well, not the boyfriend, the sort of man boy toy who is
Let's talk about this guy.
Yeah, let's just talk about this guy.
This is the best character in the movie, at least from a male perspective.
Oh, for sure.
And that's what we are. We're both males.
Both males.
So this is a guy that we can all relate to. You know, if
we've all been there at some point in our lives.
If you're a single man in 2016 or a single man somewhere within the past, like
10, 15 years,
past decade or so, this guy is basically, you've been through what this guy is going through right now. He's been seeing this girl, the main character,
for 8 months.
And she refuses to acknowledge him as her boyfriend.
Doesn't even let them sleep in the same house.
Won't even sleep in the same house. This is he can't even keep a single sock at her house. But she'll say just what she needs to say to keep him around, though. I like you a lot. Come on, man.
So yeah, every guy's been through this. I mean, even guys put girls through this. So I even feel that females can sort of relate to this. But yeah, real relatable guy, best character in the film. But yeah, there's a scene where...
Terrible haircut, though.
Yeah, terrible haircut. There's a scene where him and his girl are finally about to stay in the same house together.
Christ.
Because of this demon. So they're all trapped in this house with the demon, the mom, and the little brother. And you go ahead,
Oh, Jesus. So, all right, boys. Get ready for your heart to sink on this one. So, all right, so they're all staying at this house that this fucking demon kind of inhabits, right? Well, this guy, this is his fucking night, man. Now, it's kind of assumed that they've had sex before, but like,
yeah, well, I think that's happened.
Let's face it, man. They're not dating yet. The thought of sex still really excites this guy. I'm sure. Okay, it would still excite me, and it's not a bad looking chick. So, they're all going to stay at this house. Now, the original plan is for the girl and the guy
to sleep
on the couch together, right?
And the little brother's up in his room.
The little brother will be up in his room. Well, she's talking to the little brother, and the little brother's like, hey, will you stay with me tonight? And she's like, yeah, of course. I just have to go tell what's his face. And so she goes down there. Now, we head to the scene, and this guy is just fluffing the pillows. He is laying the blanket. He is setting the couch up. This is his night. It's going to go down tonight. He's going
to risk his damn life to get laid.
He's going to
bone this chick.
Regardless. I wonder, were they going to keep the lights on during the sex?
I don't know. Would they?
I don't know.
Do you think?
This guy is going to get his dick wet in his girl's mom's house. What a night. He is excited. You can tell. She comes downstairs. Hey, I have to sleep with my brother tonight. He sells it well. He takes it well. But you can just tell, and my heart sunk for him in that moment. And I know that those of you listening at home, dry your tears. This man, he lives to fight another day. Not to give you any spoilers or anything, but hell, they probably inherit that fucking house.
Yeah, probably. So, yeah, I mean, big happy family. But yeah, that's horror cliche number 1. Why the fuck aren't all of them just staying in the same room if this fucking demon's trying to kill them?
Why would absolutely? It's like, if you care about this guy at all, if
you care about your little brother at all,
well, yeah, you stay with him.
But they were gonna have him upstairs so they could go fuck in the basement or whatever.
It was in the living room.
Well,
very exposed. You know, if the power had went out, which it does, they would have been fucked, literally and figuratively. So, I mean, yeah. That's a cliche. I mean, another cliche is the way that the ghost looks or whatever. There are just some moments in this movie that just left me scratching my head. So the ghost is actually the ghost of the mom's friend. She had a friend when they were in an insane asylum, but she had a rare skin condition.
So she couldn't be in the sun at all, otherwise it would
not the sun, just light in general. She could not be touched by light, or it would
fucking sear her flesh.
Yeah, it would fuck her skin up. And
so basically, it's not really explained very well, but there's some scientists that do this experiment on her, and she just becomes a fucking like shadow on this chair after they fucking explode.
They fucking dissolved her. They absolutely fucking she evaporated. They came at her with a like first. We know about the skin condition, okay? Like you can't get touched by light. Now this is not a real condition that I'm aware of, but in this movie, for the sake of believing, okay, this is a skin condition that you have. You can't be touched by light. You have to be in darkness all the time. Let's try this experimental procedure where I'm basically going to fucking tie you down and come at you with a fluorescent fucking light bulb that ICP would be proud to use at one of their backyard wrestling shows. How the fuck would that ever work? How does that work? Light dissolves the skin. It dissolves her skin. So why are you coming at her with fucking fluorescent light bulbs? I don't understand it. It completely fucking like...
Makes no sense.
It evaporated her. She's just a stain on a chair at this point. It made absolutely no sense.
But there's a lot of things in it that just don't add up. The time frame's a little weird.
How does this thing travel?
I mean, it can.
Does it warp? Can it warp?
It has instant transmission, man.
Does it have instant transmission? Because if you turn the lights on and then turn them back off, it's usually in the same place.
I think she can move in the light, but you can't see her, and she can't do anything really.
But then how come whenever she lunges at somebody and you turn those fucking lights on...
Because she can't hurt you when it's...
But then she's just gone.
She's gone.
When they turn the lights back off, she's gone.
She's into another dimension, man. I don't know. Again, just things that aren't really explained.
Usually I could overlook things like this if the movie was more entertaining and if it had... if it was a little bit more original and it's... I don't know. And its creature design, I guess, and some of its scares were very cliche.
And some of the things...
Scratching on the wall, writing on the wall. Yeah. Come on, man, it's all been done. I want to see something different.
But here...
I want to see something different, buddy. Do you understand what I'm saying right now?
Oh, I understand what you're saying right now. I'm
getting pissed over here.
So basically...
Dynamite Jared is about to go off, if you know what I mean.
Go off. Dynamite Jared is about to explode. That's what you're saying?
Yes.
So basically, the climax of the film, leading up to the climax, they're locked in this basement. The sister and the brother, right after they ditched the boyfriend on the couch, who presumably was jacking off heavily during this time.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt, you would have to be.
Why didn't the demon just kill the shit out of this guy?
I don't know. The demon didn't kill anyone in the main cast, but the fucking guy at the beginning fucking
But he was
died.
down there by himself. He was just down and out, right?
Yeah.
He woke up and these people were in the basement already. He like overheard them. And then he's like doing battle with this monster. And then he just runs off.
But anyway, so they find this black light in the basement, and apparently you can see her in the black light, but it doesn't hurt her. But you can see her. And you can shoot her with a flashlight.
When she's under the black light. So if you shoot her with the flashlight in a normal area, she just disappears. But in the black light, it seems to like
burn her.
Solidify her. Like she like actually becomes a physical presence.
Yeah.
I want to say. And so like you can shoot her with the flashlight and it actually burns her skin.
But anyway, she wrote all this shit on the wall, and like my first thought was she stole like a dude's semen and wrote it on the wall. Because you can see it in the black light. So maybe this bitch is just made completely out of semen. I mean, I don't know.
Possibly made completely out of semen. Possible sequel coming out.
Well, I don't know. Possible sequel, maybe. I mean...
It's doing well. For a horror film.
They closed the book, though, kind of. They'll find some way to bring...
You can bring this bitch back.
I mean, you brought Michael Myers back 1,000 times. You bring Jason back. So I'm sure...
They brought her back once.
Yeah.
She got evaporated. She fucking came back. So
I guess we should talk about the ending a little bit. So basically,
should we?
Should we? I don't. Do you want to?
The ending was all right.
The only thing I didn't like about the ending is basically in most horror movies, like when your movie's over and things are wrapped up, usually your horror movie is gonna cut to a couple months later. Or somehow wrap things up and you see, oh, our characters ended up okay. Or maybe it cuts to a couple months later, everything seems okay, and then something scary happens again. In this one, the camera just kind of pans back and the credits roll.
The lights kind of fizzled out for a second.
The lights went out, if you will.
Well, they didn't, but they started to flicker.
Fizzled.
They flickered. Whatever. Lights Out, I gave it 1.5 out of 5. What do you got?
I didn't rate it on Letterboxd yet. I'm thinking a solid 2.5, maybe.
Woo!
I don't know.
Jesus Christ, this is a fucking masterpiece in your eyes. Good
Well, I'm not
Lord.
like me. If I like a movie, if I think a movie is okay, I give it a 3. If it's 2.5 and under, I didn't like it that much. If it's 3.5 or over, it means I liked it more than it's just average, I suppose. Yeah. But yeah, I purposely did not rate it on Letterboxd because I didn't want Jared knowing my opinion of it before we talked about it. But since this is the second go at the podcast, he already knew what I thought about
Yeah,
it.
so pretty organic though, right?
Pretty organic, yeah.
All right,
so now we're going to talk about... So speaking of critics and whatnot giving Lights Out very stellar reviews, a movie they were not too kindly to was the latest in the DC Cinematic Universe, Suicide
Yikes.
Squad. And here's what I have to say about this. Don't listen to the fucking critics. Go see it yourself. Make your own opinion. Doesn't fucking matter what anyone else thinks. Just go see it. Give DC your money because, I mean, we want to see more movies.
I want to keep this universe going. I'm a fan. And there's been some flaws with some of the stuff. I feel like they're addressing some issues, though, with each movie that goes on. One thing that we haven't talked about is Batman, right? I mean, we've talked about Batman. Yeah. Like, I fucking love Batman. But this Batman, there are so many unanswered questions about this Batman.
Right.
All we know is that he fought Superman at this point. He wanted to get rid of Superman or whatever, and obviously he's Batman, so whatever. But, you know, there are some questions with Batman. There's definitely some stuff that I want to find out. There's mystery. There's intrigue there. The same goes for the Joker. We've seen quite a bit of him in this movie, but
it's just a teaser of what's to come later.
Yeah, because you don't see him with Batman, which is the complete package. When those two are together, that's the complete package.
And I think a lot of maybe the potential reason people didn't like this movie is because they went in expecting the Joker to be the focal point of this movie, when really it's not at all. And it shouldn't have been marketed that way, and it shouldn't have been presented in such a fashion to the fans, I guess. Really, the people...
Did you think it was marketed that way?
I don't think it was intentionally marketed that way, but if, like, with all the hype surrounding, oh, is Jared Leto going to be as good as Heath and all this shit, they made it more about the Joker than it should have been. It should have been focused more on at least the conversations with the people.
I've been hearing from, I guess, Jared Leto interviews that they shot enough Joker footage to do an entire movie.
Well, they probably did.
And they cut out like 45 minutes of Joker and Harley Quinn footage.
I mean, it's possible.
So I didn't think that they marketed it like that based on the trailers. I thought that the focus would be on the Suicide Squad. I was actually surprised at how much Joker was in the fucking movie, honestly. He's only in the trailers for like a couple brief flashes, and then, you know, I'm not gonna hurt you.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
hurt you.
Or I'm not gonna kill you. I'm just gonna hurt you a lot or whatever. So,
but anyway, what did you think about the film as a film?
So I gave it 3 stars on Letterboxd, which signals that I liked it. And there was some corny moments, some very, very, very corny moments, corny characters. Gangsta Croc.
Gangsta Croc,
as many of you may know, is Killer Croc, but they completely thugged him out in this movie, and he was not good. All of his dialogue was extremely corny, and I didn't think that there was any need for that. There was a lot of corniness going on near the end of this movie.
See, like, it wasn't a perfect movie, and it wasn't a bad movie, and I feel that a lot of people are really giving it this bad rap when it's undeserved. It really is. Talk to me.
It's an entertaining. It's an entertaining movie.
Jared's over here.
I didn't know if you were queuing.
I
didn't know if you were queuing me up or not.
He's texting these women.
Let me tell you something. This is. I'm just one of the most unprofessional podcasters of all time, but that's okay because I'm not a professional podcaster. No one's paying me yet. You want to pay me? I will set my phone face down. I won't turn it off, but I'll set it face
Face
down.
down.
All right, so definitely not deserving of its bad reviews.
And even like not even just the critics, like even if you just go on Facebook or like you talk to anyone about this, a lot of people are just ripping it apart.
I've seen some mixed opinions.
See, all the reviews I've seen for people, just like people posting Facebook statuses, they've all been negative.
So what's the big problem?
I
What don't people like? Have you read any of these reviews? Because I haven't. I've just talked to a couple people that saw it, and some of the people that it seems like some of the people that I've talked to that actually read comic books, that actually follow some of the DC universe, that are kind of engaged in it, they liked it. Now, there's some fresh takes on some classic characters in this movie that work really well. Now, Harley Quinn was spot on.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn was as close to that character as you can get, in my opinion, aside from her wardrobe, even though
there is a quick
there is an
little
Easter egg. Yeah, with the original outfit. But that, in my opinion, that was Harley Quinn. She's this freaking ditzy clown girl that kind of is just obsessed with the Joker. That is Harley Quinn's character. She's obsessed with the Joker. That is her driving force in life. Everything that she does is for him. And that's how she goes in this movie. She's constantly thinking about the Joker. He's coming to rescue her, and she just wants to get back with her man. And every like little fantasy that she has, I love.
Yeah.
I loved the fantasy scene
with
in
the
that
with
movie.
the
Harley
with normal
Quinn's
Joker,
fantasy
with
where she married the Joker and they had kids, and Jared Leto has no makeup on and they don't have any tattoos and everything looks nice, and it's just that was classic. But
I really liked the dynamic between the Joker and Harley Quinn in this.
It's different. It's a different dynamic, slightly different. There's still the classic dynamic there. There's still the abuse. There's still the manipulation.
But you really get the sense that this Joker cares about Harley Quinn more than other Jokers. Because the other ones, the Joker...
They don't care at all.
The Joker would just call Harley when he needs her, and then after that he'd push her to the side.
She's just an item to him. Just something to help him.
In this, you get the sense the Joker really loves Harley.
Yeah. He still uses her, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He still uses
leaves her to
He
die.
still abuses her. He definitely leaves her to die. Or leaves her to get captured by Batman. I'm sure he knew that Batman would take care of her, but he still seems pretty distraught about it, and he's pretty intent on getting her back, which is his whole storyline in the movie. Yeah. He's trying to get Harley Quinn back. I like the Joker in this movie.
I thought the Joker was very well done in this movie. We were both very nervous.
Can we step off the movie for just a second and just talk Joker?
Yeah, for sure.
So there's the debate. Here's the debate that everyone wants to hear. This is the debate that everyone is talking about. Who is the best Joker? Now, I don't want the cop-out answer. Do not say Mark Hamill.
God damn it!
That is not a fair answer.
That's what I was going to say.
You can't say Mark Hamill. That is not a fair answer. I am talking live action Jokers. Okay, Mark Hamill is the greatest Joker voice of all time and overall greatest Joker portrayal of all time, but he has never portrayed the Joker
on screen.
On screen, it's completely different. So you're sitting here, you're doing the voice. That's fantastic. Best Joker voice ever. Whatever. There's still so many mannerisms that you have to do on screen and just carry yourself that way.
Best live action Joker.
Best live action Joker. We have Cesar Romero. We have Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, and now Jared Leto. And there may even be another one, but those are the famous ones.
Those are the main ones.
Yeah.
I mean, right now I'm gonna say Heath, for sure. It's unquestionable at this point in time that Heath is the best Joker so far. But it's everyone's opinion, because I know a lot of people really like the Nicholson Joker, which is undoubtedly...
They're all great.
They're all great. Let's just put that out right
let me say,
I even get down with some Cesar Romero. He's entertaining.
Cesar Romero's great. I think Cesar Romero has the best look out of any of the Jokers. Yeah. But here's my thing on this character. This is such a charismatic character.
Yeah.
That you just can't take your eyes off of him. And I feel like even though a lot of these actors, say that they kind of got fucked up by playing the Joker or whatever, I feel like this is kind of an easy character to play. I feel like no matter who plays the Joker, like you can kind of get the job done unless you really, really, really fuck it up because of
the Joker's just such a likable character.
The character himself is just so charismatic, so magnetic. You can't take your eyes off of him when he's on the screen, and it's been that way ever since Cesar Romero.
Yeah.
So it's been that way in the comics. It's been that way in the animated series. It's the Joker. So maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm completely off base. Maybe you cannot cast fucking...
I mean, you can definitely have Jokers that aren't as good as the last one.
Yeah.
For sure.
Maybe you can't cast fucking... I'm trying to think of a terrible actor right now.
Fucking Bruce Willis as the Joker. It just wouldn't work. I don't think Bruce Willis would be a good Joker.
What's wrong with Bruce Willis?
As the Joker?
As the Joker, no. He's bald, but I mean...
I can't see The Rock as the Joker.
He's too buff.
Way too buff.
Way too buff. But do you think that The Rock has the acting ability to play the Joker?
Have you seen Central Intelligence?
I have not, but I heard it's good.
He's fucking crazy in that movie.
Is it good? Is it worth a see?
It's worth a watch, I guess. I mean, I thought it was really lazily directed. And I don't think that Kevin Hart's that funny. But
Buddy, what the hell are you doing right now?
I don't think Kevin Hart's that funny, man.
What the fuck are you doing right now? We're supposed to be talking about Suicide Squad.
Stop
talking about Central Intelligence.
You started this.
Listen, so...
You're the one that was like, all right, let's talk about the Joker debate.
I don't recall. So
right now, I'm saying Heath Ledger's the best Joker.
Heath Ledger. I agree with you.
Give Jared Leto a little bit of time. I think he was teased in this movie. He needs the standalone film with Batman to properly assess
You
the debate.
absolutely need to see him
with Batman.
With Batman. We need to see how these characters play off of each other, and it will be heavily dependent on Ben Affleck as well to carry his load, because these two characters on screen together is always money. And these two characters are designed to play off each other extremely well. So, Ben Affleck, Jared Leto, the case is still open on them.
Yeah.
And
I like Batfleck.
I like Batfleck too, and I like Jared Leto's Joker. He's definitely a different take. He's not as witty, I want to say, as some of the other Jokers have been. But he thinks he's funny, and he just laughs a lot. He's very serious. He's very gangsta. Very, he's got a lot of... He's got like
grills.
Bling and stuff, and a grill, and really nice suits, and everything. And he's just... It's hard to describe, and we'll have to see. I honestly do hope that we get some more jokes out of him when it comes time for this Batman movie that he's expected to be in. Because, he's definitely funny. I think that there's some funny parts in it when he kind of does some like a little bit of homoerotic things and everything that he doesn't. When
he makes the guy kiss his
ring.
It's
just that he's so crazy, but he doesn't see it that way. He's the normal one, so like when you see him acting this way, it's kind of funny. I don't know, and he laughs a lot. Yeah, so that's the trait. But you definitely have to laugh if you're the Joker. Heath Ledger, kind of a dry,
dark sense of humor,
but it wasn't really like any jokes with like a punchline or anything.
Jack
it was
kind
of like some sort of like some sort of dry humor that he would just kind of come out with. And then Jack Nicholson was one-liners, crazy jokes. Same with Cesar Romero. All of them are great. I'm going with Heath.
Yeah.
Heath was just enough, in my opinion, of uniqueness with his unique look. And I had something for this the other day, but he was just different enough, but just traditional enough too, where it was just like, this is something new, something fresh, but also it's so familiar at the same time.
Yeah.
So, like, and just the way he played that character, and I know a lot of people out there think that he gets that he gets a lot more credit than he deserves because he died. That is absolutely not the case. I think that Heath Ledger was absolutely phenomenal as the Joker, dead or alive. He did a great job. He knocked that role out of the park. No discredit to Jack Nicholson, Cesar Romero, and now Jared Leto. Anyways, back to Suicide Squad. Where were we at here? We were talking about the characters and some of the fresh takes on these characters. How about Deadshot?
I like Deadshot a lot. Coming in sort of blind, I wasn't familiar with any of these characters, well, except for like the main ones, obviously. But I wasn't familiar with Deadshot. I wasn't familiar with Captain Boomerang or any of them. So I was coming in really
kind of, Captain Boomerang and El Diablo. Those are kind of B-list villains.
Yeah.
Captain Boomerang is one of Flash's big dudes, but
yeah,
still like kind of B-rate guys. Suicide Squad is in the comic books a lot of kind of B-rate villains mixed in with like now Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn wasn't always in the Suicide Squad, but she is now. Harley Quinn is kind of an upper echelon, and Deadshot is obviously. I want to say that Deathstroke was in the Suicide Squad at one point, but I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that, anyone, please.
But yeah, I really
leave me alone.
Really liked Deadshot. Really liked El Diablo a lot. I thought his character was very well done. He brought a lot of drama to the table with his past and his, I don't know what the word for it is, but his restraint in using his powers. Because he's undoubtedly the most powerful out of the Suicide Squad.
He was an interesting character, and he was good. What I did not like was Killer Croc, as I stated before. I liked Captain Boomerang, but he only had a couple of moments to shine. The one part where he kind of uses this fucking jabroni, the man that can climb anything, and I don't recall his name.
Doesn't matter because he dies anyway.
He can climb anything, so you can just tell this guy's ready to get fucked up, honestly. And so Captain Boomerang slips over to this guy, and they're walking. They have these chips implanted in them so that they will do what the government tells them to do, or they will be executed. Captain Boomerang, he wants to test this out. He wants to see how this works, so he's going to manipulate the man that can climb anything, fucking jabroni. And so he goes up to this guy and he's like, "Hey man, I think this is all bullshit. Let's
split.
Let's split.
Yeah.
I'll take out a couple guys and then, we can run for it. I don't think that they're going to kill us." And the guy is like, "All right, I'm in." Captain Boomerang throws his boomerang, causes a little ruckus. The man that can climb anything lives up to his namesake. He starts climbing. He's trying to get the fuck out of there. He's climbing these buildings. Captain Boomerang immediately puts his hands up and surrenders. As the man that can climb anything, whose name escapes me right now.
Fucking explodes.
He explodes. He gets killed. Captain Boomerang sees what he needs to see.
And he's
all right,
like,
guys, I'm back on board. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a cool scene. How he kind of pulled the strings on that guy to get him to prove something.
How'd you feel about Enchantress?
So this is not a character that I'm extremely familiar with, but her portrayal in the movie was good. I thought, extremely powerful character. Here's what I'm wondering, now that you bring this up, because Enchantress becomes the main villain of the film.
Right.
The world is in peril.
Yes.
What city are they in, for one?
Gotham.
Are they in Gotham?
I think so.
When they're fighting Enchantress.
Oh, I don't know when they're fighting I know parts of it are in Gotham. I think it's all...
Well, when Batman catches Deadshot and when he catches Joker and Harley Quinn, it's in Gotham. And so, where is Batman?
So it must not be in Gotham.
When Enchantress is fucking tearing shit up. Well, I don't think that the movie takes place in Gotham anyways, during that scene, because Gotham is fucked. Gotham's destroyed. I'm pretty sure Doomsday fucked Gotham up when he fought Batman and Superman, which leads me to believe that... Or wait, do they fight Doomsday in Metropolis? I can't remember where they fight Doomsday at. But whatever city it is, it's fucked up. I think Batman and Superman fight in Gotham, But then I think they have to go back to Metropolis, and that's where they end up running into Doomsday. So I'm not 100% sure how that all went down.
But either way,
there's a
Batman's absent.
There's a theory that Batman captures Joker and Harley Quinn and Deadshot, captures all these people before he even goes to face Superman. That's my theory.
It's possible.
But I'm not entirely sure. There are some inconsistencies with the way Batman acts in this movie as compared to Batman vs. Superman, which you have not seen yet.
Right.
So
familiar with what happens, but have not seen it yet.
So Enchantress I thought was well done. I remember that there was some controversy when they first released the first images of her and how she was so scantily clad. And a lot of people were upset about that. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I never knew who she was in the comics. So again, I was just going in blind with this character. So.
Well, how do you feel about that in general? Is super villain scantily clad? Meanwhile, we have Harley Quinn walking around in panties.
Yeah.
And nobody's saying a damn thing because we get a nice view of her butt the entire time.
Yeah. Well, everyone likes some Harley Quinn, you know.
No one
wants to get down with this witch lady, you know. She might fuck you up.
I was kind of taken aback by it. I mean, I expect it in today's day and age, but I don't see why it's necessary to call out the scantily clad lady that's in this movie.
See, I wasn't even aware that was a
controversy for a little bit. Some sexism.
Like her when she's a witch, or when she turns into like the goddess thing.
When she's kind of like the goddess thing. And when she's a witch, she's kind of naked too, a little bit. But whatever the case, shut up, watch the movie. Like,
don't listen to the critics.
Listen, it's a fucking bikini. She's wearing a fucking bikini. We've all seen fucking bikinis before, so shut the fuck up.
So yeah, there were some corny things in it. I don't recall laughing at any of the one-liners. I thought the joke...
Not even Will Smith?
I don't think I laughed at Will Smith. I was like, oh, that's kind of amusing.
There's some funny things from Will Smith, in my opinion. I thought Will Smith was really good in this movie. You didn't even laugh when he talked about slapping your wife on the ass or whatever?
I don't think I laughed. I think I like nodded. I was like, oh, I can see. But
just nod in agreement. Yep.
But a lot of the other criticisms that this film has been getting, that I think are unwarranted, just because all the critics like to suck Marvel's cock. Everyone just compares it to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Are we allowed to say cock on the air?
I said cock on the air.
Right.
We've said it like 4 times now.
Have I said cock?
Now that's 4.
I've been saying dick.
That's fine. Either way.
I just want to know if I've been saying cock.
Speaking of this, we've been watching... we watched a little bit of Austin Powers before we watched this, and they were doing the whole Johnson cock skit when we were watching it. So we have dick on the brain right now.
There's definitely dick on the brain, and we actually have a dick-related question on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll get to that later.
So anyway, everyone's comparing it to Guardians of the Galaxy just because it's basically the ragtag group that no one's really heard of. The soundtrack is good in both films, and just people are drawing a lot of parallels with them. I don't think this is a good idea just because they're so entirely different. I mean, one's a fucking sci-fi, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, they're not the same movie.
And what? The main guy in Guardians, he's kind of an an anti-hero, right? He's like a space pirate or something in that, right?
Yeah. Jared has not seen Guardians of the Galaxy yet. He should. It's a phenomenal film. Even better soundtrack than it is a film, I would say. So Jared will see Guardians at some point. Probably the only Marvel movie that I think is a great film. I'm not really... Well,
you don't like Spider-Man 2?
Well, I'm talking the current cycle.
Iron Man 1?
I didn't really like Iron Man.
Okay.
Spider-Man 2 is phenomenal. I like the first Spider-Man as well. 3 can suck a dick. Well, not real. I mean, I just think they tried to cram too much into 3, but that's a whole nother discussion.
Unfair comparisons. These are not the same movie. This is, Suicide Squad is much, much darker, I assume, than Guardians of the Galaxy.
1,000%.
So, I mean, let's face it. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of Jared Leto's Joker and Harley Quinn. As I said before, I want to see more Deadshot.
Yeah, more Deadshot.
And so I think that they're supposed to be doing a Suicide Squad 2 as well, but
it might have got canned with all these horrible.
I
I'm
don't
assuming
know.
it bombed.
It seems like DC is still powering on. I'm saying, and I'll second what Buddy said earlier, just spend your money, go see this movie, form your own opinion. It is an entertaining movie. There are some corny parts, but it's for the most part, it's entertaining. And I mean, that's all you can really ask from a superhero movie. This is a superhero movie.
Yes.
Or a comic book movie, I should
Right.
rather say, because these aren't superheroes.
Super villains.
Yeah.
But 26% definitely unwarranted. There's
23%.
23. There's definitely way worse films. I mean, me and Jared sat through fucking Laser Blast, so don't say that this is the worst movie you've ever
You have
seen.
something bad to say about Laser Blast,
Do
buddy?
you have something good to say about Laser Blast?
I do have something good to say about Laser Blast. Do you not remember those stop motion aliens?
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Can't lie.
All right, so there
right.
you go.
There you go.
Wasn't there some wild sex scenes in that movie too?
I just remember a van.
Doesn't he? Yeah, he fucks the one girl. He fucks the one girl and he's like turning into a demon while he does it, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's transforming into an alien.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah. Anyways.
Full commentary of Laser Blast coming soon on YouTube.
All right, so we need to move on from Suicide Squad. I enjoyed it. You enjoyed it?
I enjoyed it.
All
Good.
right, so Unpopular Opinions podcast. Here we go.
Next week, as a little teaser, we talked a lot about DC this week. Next week, we're sticking with that. We're going to be discussing The Killing Joke,
The new animated film.
the film, as
it's
well
based on
as the graphic novel.
the graphic novel by Alan Moore,
Yeah.
and that's one of the most that's like one of the most praised Batman stories of all time. And so I have some words. Buddy hasn't seen it yet, so we'll talk about it next
probably
week.
will have some words.
Read the comic first, and
I will.
and then watch the movie, and we'll hear what you have to say. We need to move on though because we're running out of time here. A new trailer. It's about 2 weeks old, but we're just now running into
We
it.
just found out because it was before. Well, I saw it before. Lights Out was the first time I saw it because I was.
Right.
But the new Blair Witch trailer, which is a direct sequel to the 1999 film, completely throwing Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows or whatever out the window, rightfully so. For those of you who have seen it, it's a horrible film. Has some good chuckles, but for the most part, very bad. Jared agrees, I'm sure.
Blair Witch 2?
Oh, Blair Witch 2, yeah.
Blair Witch 2 is absolutely one of the most abysmal horror films I have ever seen. And that's basically all I have to say about Blair Witch 2.
And we've seen some shitty horror films, so.
So, I actually know someone that's a huge fan of Blair Witch 2.
Miles?
I don't know if Miles likes it or not, but I know that Dan Lacey is a huge fan of Blair Witch 2. Anyways, so we have the new trailer out for the new Blair Witch sequel, which is, you already said, is the direct sequel to the 1999 film.
It centers around the brother of one of the girls in the original thing. And in this universe, the Blair Witch movie does not exist. In Blair Witch 2, the movie that came out like right after, the movie Blair Witch exists, and the people in the movie are obsessed with the film Blair Witch.
I believe so.
Right.
I think that's
So in that universe, the movie exists. In this universe, the movie never happened, and it was just footage that was uploaded on the internet years later. And the brother finds it, and he's like, shit, well, I'm going to go do the same exact shit my sister did, go wander in the woods with a fucking camera, and...
Me too, man. That's exactly what you do when you find shocking footage of your sister stranded in woods encountering a witch.
And I don't know. I'll just flat out say it. The trailer kind of sucked. But I'm excited for the film. I wasn't huge on the original, but I appreciate the original more for what it did with the film industry than I like it as a film. I like what it did more than I like it itself, if that makes sense.
I understand where you're going with that. I thought that the trailer was also garbage. I think that it looks too clean, but I guess that's just the advancement of cameras nowadays. Adam Wingard is directing this. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar, Adam Wingard directed a great horror film called You're Next, and he also directed a great action thriller called The Guest. And he will be doing the Death Note American adaptation, live action adaptation, that should be coming out next year, I believe. And so Adam Wingard is extremely talented director, and so that gets me excited for this movie. Also, early reviews have already been turned in.
Giving 100%.
100% satisfaction on Rotten Tomatoes so far, based on 7 reviews. So let's keep it in perspective.
So the director, the actors, the producer,
yeah,
just went on and reviewed their own film.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm kind of excited for this because I'm a fan of Adam Wingard, and that's it.
And comes out September 19th, I believe. We'll definitely see it opening weekend probably and talk about it after that. So stay tuned.
Controversial statements from Conor McGregor this week. Really upset the wrestling community. Can you pull those up for me?
So for those of you... well, I don't really need to introduce Conor McGregor. You all know who he is.
The notorious Conor McGregor.
So... he had some words. It's been rumored for, I don't know if it's been years, well, like probably a year or so, that he would be joining WWE at some point in his career. I don't know too much about the rumors. I just know WWE was trying to get him to appear at some point. Jared might have more info on that.
I've heard rumblings.
Some rumblings.
But it was never like a huge thing like what their pursuit of Ronda Rousey is.
Yeah. But McGregor laid all of that to waste when he released this statement about wrestlers in WWE. He said, "For the most part, I think these guys are pussies, to be honest. They're messed up pussies if you ask me. Fair play to Brock Lesnar. He got in and fought, but at the end of the day, he was just juiced up to the fucking eyeballs. How can I respect that? The other guy," in reference to CM Punk, hasn't fought yet, so I don't know anything about him yet. This really upset not only the wrestling community, but pretty much every wrestler from Ric Flair to Sasha Banks to Chris Jericho. Everyone weighed in on this.
If you were a wrestler and you had a Twitter account, you tweeted about this, and you told Conor McGregor that you were not a pussy. So Ric Flair claimed that Conor McGregor stole his gimmick, and I can kind of see that. The kind of sharp-dressed, cocky trash talker. That was kind of Ric Flair's thing before it was even a thing. I think all these wrestlers want is some respect. You know, Ronda Rousey and a lot of other MMA fighters have said that wrestling has been a huge influence on them. Conor McGregor sells tickets the same exact way that wrestling people sell tickets, by talking trash. So he cuts promos and everything. That's why he gets compared so often to wrestlers. And that's why if WWE probably ever had any sort of interest in him.
But flat out, I mean, wrestling's a work. Everyone knows that it's not quote-unquote real. But these guys are still out there every day on the road, putting on shows and fucking putting their bodies at risk and giving it their all every night. And that's definitely not pussy or whatever he
There's an interesting statistic that shows that wrestlers, professional wrestlers, get injured more annually than MMA fighters do. What these guys are doing out there is very serious. I don't know how much you can actually call fake. I don't know how fake jumping off a 20-foot ladder through a flaming table can be.
Jumping off Hell in a Cell, fucking...
A lot of these guys really hit each other.
Fucking Shane McMahon going through those glass things with...
Look, these guys aren't fighters. They're not fighters.
They're not fighters. They're...
Like, nobody ever claimed that they were fighters, but you can't question the toughness and the grit of these athletes that do professional wrestling. I don't care who you are. And I don't care if you like professional wrestling or you don't like it. And that's all there is to it. Muhammad Ali, greatest fighter of all time. he attributed a lot of his influence to wrestling. All of his trash talk, all of his showboating, all that stuff. So
we got a couple tweets here.
you got some.
Got a couple.
Let's do those at the end of the show. Let's do those at the end of the show because we still have to talk about.
No, I was talking about Conor McGregor.
Oh, about Conor McGregor tweets. Oh, okay.
I think the most notorious one, and this will kind of lead into our topic right after this. The most notorious tweet is probably from your boy Roman Reigns, who said to Conor McGregor, "You're the size of my leg. Shut up." Profound words from the infamous Roman Reigns. And a typo that will go down in history.
A typo that will go down in history. Y-O-U-R. You're as big as my legs.
What a guy.
Oh boy, Roman.
So how'd you like that wedding promo on Raw this week?
Roman?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Get the microphone out of this guy's hands. That's all I'm saying. Just like, I don't know. I don't know what else to say, man. He just can't cut a good promo to save his life. It was absolutely terrible. I have here written in my notes, Roman Reigns promo awful. With no typos.
Right.
So.
You're a very good speller.
Thank you.
So, and here's the thing. Like, we're not hating on Roman just to hate on him. In all honesty, we want every wrestler to get over, and we want people to connect with the fans. But this guy, like, I don't even know how to describe it.
Oh, man. Look, I want Roman Reigns to get over just as much as the next guy. I have nothing against Roman Reigns, personally. But he's just being pushed at a level that I don't think he deserves. Yeah, I don't think that his ability is up to the level that they push him. And I have a problem with that. And I just, I don't like, I just don't like eye-rollingly bad promos. And when Roman Reigns comes onto my TV, I want to change the channel because his promos make me roll my eyes. They're that bad. So I don't know what else.
When he's pre-recorded, it's not that bad.
No.
But when he's live, out there in front of everyone, it's horrible.
He's out of his element. So I don't know if it's stage fright or what, but he seems cool and confident. Just there's just something there. He just doesn't have something, and it's really not working out. And I definitely don't want to see him cutting any more jokes because look, man, he is not his cousin or whoever the hell The Rock is in relation to him.
His blood cousin.
Look, man, so stop the jokes. All right.
But Seth Rollins promo.
Seth Rollins cut an incredible promo. Now here I go. I'm gonna be a mark, but I'm gonna sit here and suck Seth Rollins' dick. This guy come out, cuts a great promo, and here you go. Here's a guy that's at the top spot that just delivers week in and week out. Seth Rollins. Seth freaking Rollins.
You have heard about the controversy with his promo, though, right? About
he said that Finn Balor's real name, but obviously Seth Rollins is not.
Right.
Seth Rollins' real name
Colby
as well.
Sanchez or Colby
something.
I don't know.
Some Hispanic name. To counterpart of Seth Rollins' promo, Finn Balor cut a pre-tape promo,
which was
kind
very
of introducing the Demon, which I thought was extremely good. One of the best parts on Raw, aside from the Lesnar Randy Orton video package,
which was also good.
Good.
But Balor is really, I really have high hopes for him at SummerSlam. He's definitely my pick. That's definitely going to be my match of SummerSlam, the one I'm looking most forward to.
I think that Finn Balor is in a must-win situation now. He's debuting his Demon gimmick at SummerSlam. If he comes out and lays down for Seth Rollins with that face paint on, then that's going to bury that gimmick in my eyes. It's not special anymore. Like, he came out, Seth Rollins fucking beat the Demon. First fucking match. So it does seem a little soon to be handing Finn Balor the title of the universe. But
the new era.
It's the new era, so I mean, let's see it, and we can shove the rocket up his ass, see how far he can take it. So Finn Balor's my pick to win the match. I won't be surprised if Seth Rollins wins, but
Not at all.
I think it
It's
spells
definitely
bad things for Finn Balor. If Finn Balor was not coming to SummerSlam as the Demon,
it would have been okay.
I feel like that would have been fine, but he's coming as the Demon, so I feel like this is a must-win for him now.
What else happened on Raw?
We had the pre-tape with Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar, which seemed to hint at a return of the Legend Killer gimmick. Maybe I'm looking too much into this. What do you think?
I mean, I can definitely see that. I mean, if he takes down Brock.
Take me out of Viperville.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in Viperville.
Yeah, that's just awful. But yeah, I definitely think the gimmick might be coming back. But yeah, I mean, if he takes down, I don't think he will beat Brock. But if he does, I mean, that definitely.
If he beats Brock, it's the return of the Legend Killer.
Yeah.
That was a great promo.
Brock was very good. Again,
Brock was good. Orton was good. Heyman was good.
Yeah.
Good all around. Good promo. Not much else happened on Raw. This is kind of a down week for Raw. Kind of a filler episode, in my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see that. SmackDown, neither of us watched. I watched a little bit of the highlights when they uploaded to YouTube. Basically, the only thing noteworthy that happened was the fucking Miz got his car stolen by Scooby-Doo. And other than that, there's not much to say. I'm really not into SmackDown that much. I mean, I like John Cena, I like Ambrose, I like Ziggler.
American Alpha.
American Alpha is Jared's team. But yeah, I don't like how they switched from the fixed camera to whatever the hell they're doing, like panning back and forth. I think it's really disorienting. Really just makes me not want to watch SmackDown. That's all I have to say about that.
So that was our SmackDown correspondent, Bruising Buddy Candela, because
Buddy
I
the
will
Bruiser.
not Buddy the Bruiser Candela, because I will not be watching SmackDown. But NXT this week kind of heated up that Samoa Joe Shinsuke Nakamura feud, and that is my pick for match of the weekend on SummerSlam weekend. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Samoa Joe, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, Saturday the 20th. I cannot wait for this match. I cannot wait for this card, because on NXT they've announced Bobby Roode's debut match against Andrade Cien Almos, who's a great luchador. I expect Bobby Roode to go over. And Austin Aries versus No Way Jose. I expect Austin Aries to go over. So that card is shaping up to be good. And
But the CWC.
the CWC last week. Now
We actually just got done watching.
we
a match.
watched a hell of a match, but I want to talk about last week's match, which was Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling from Cleveland's own, versus Tommaso Ciampa, his tag team partner, in the last match of the first round of the CWC, and they delivered a classic, as much of a classic as you can deliver in just over 10 minutes time. But these guys were selling, they were telling a hell of a story, and they were just doing some hard-hitting stuff. And this was a really, really good match that you haven't seen, buddy.
Probably watch it after this.
Yeah, you should watch it. And if anyone out there is a wrestling fan, I really highly suggest you watch this match as well. I was blown away. And it had been the greatest match in the CWC up to this point until last night they aired second round Kota Ibushi versus Cedric Alexander. Me and Buddy just got done watching this fucking match. What did you think of this match, Buddy?
Cat, his facial expressions were the funniest shit ever. Like, but yeah, it was a good match. I don't know. You can give the play-by-play.
I don't know if I can give the play-by-play. There was a lot of high spots in this match.
There's a lot of.
But there was some decent selling, and
the kicks were loud.
There was
like,
some hard-hitting kicks. There was some hard-hitting stuff in this match, and some great near falls. This was a fantastic match, and it's up in the air now. What is the best match thus far in the CWC? I think it's between Ciampa and Gargano, Ibushi and Alexander. This match was so good that the crowd basically demanded that WWE sign
Sign.
Cedric Alexander.
The funniest shit is when Triple H just comes out and he's like, all right, I hear you.
Triple H comes out, he acknowledges the crowd chants, all right, we're going to try and get this guy, pulls him back to the locker room. I think Cedric Alexander has a bright future in WWE. After this match, Kota Ibushi really made this kid look good. And that was a fantastic match.
For sure.
Really looking forward to SummerSlam weekend. Not this weekend, but the weekend after that.
Yeah. So, are there any other matches at SummerSlam that you're interested in? Particularly, how about Cena versus AJ?
I'm interested. I'm definitely interested. And I think that anything other than AJ going over is the wrong move here. But I could obviously see Cena going over. What the hell do I know? I'm not a booker. I say AJ Styles.
I mean, it's
dirty pin.
It's definitely the smarter move to have AJ win. His pay-per-view run has not been very good.
Has not been stellar.
Has not been stellar. I think the only match he won besides the dirty win over Cena was against Jericho, right? Was that his only victory this year?
Was it a dirty win? I think it was just a roll-up. But was it even on pay-per-view? I think that was on SmackDown. And then Jericho beat him at WrestleMania.
Maybe.
Jericho definitely won at WrestleMania.
Oh, well then his pay-per-view run has been very less than stellar.
He's beaten Cena, and that's about it. So, whatever the case, that's a match I'm looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to SummerSlam. We have one more week of Raw, SmackDown, NXT before SummerSlam weekend. The week after SummerSlam, we are going to be doing full coverage, our analysis on NXT TakeOver Brooklyn and SummerSlam. It's going to be a busy show for us. That one will probably definitely go over an hour and a half, which we're approaching right now.
I would assume.
We tweeted out that we wanted some questions or something to talk about on the show. So one of our fans, Caleb Harris.
Oh, boy.
Caleb Harris. At Dynamite Jared. At Buddy Candela. Talk about my micro dick. Can you tell people it's normal? Like, honestly. Well, Caleb, as many of you may know, Caleb Harris has around a 2-inch penis. And this, I don't know why you're laughing. This is a very serious matter. And,
there's nothing to snicker at. I feel bad.
There's nothing to snicker at here, but it's completely normal. I just want to let the viewers or the listeners at home know that this is completely normal. He has no sort of deficiency or anything. He's seen some doctors, and they say this is plenty. You can... This is plenty of dick. You can get the job done with this. You can get the job done with that. That is more than enough to serve your evolutionary purpose, Caleb. So if you're listening at home, I'm here for you, man. All right? I'm not working with that much my damn self. So, if there are, any people out there that, that think that this is a funny thing, this is not a disorder. This is just literally how big his penis is. There was no sort of a degenerative illness or anything to go along with this. Completely normal. Completely normal. And that's 2 inches hard.
It's 2 inches hard.
2 inches hard.
I was gonna ask.
He is a grower, yes.
Yes.
So.
Well, yeah, so that's about everything that we've got for this week. If you like the show, let us know. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Download our shit. Take it on the go with you.
We forgot to mention the archive.org.
Did we?
We talked about how we're not on Audio Boom, but our episodes are getting uploaded to archive.org. Buddy will have the download link in the YouTube video, and if we ever post a status or whatever, that link will also be in the status. If you don't follow us on anything for whatever reason, if you're a fan of this show and don't follow us, I don't know what the hell's wrong with you. That's weird. But you can just go on archive.org, type in Two Nerds, kind of go through all the other posers that claim to be the Two Nerds. But you'll find us eventually, Two Nerds, a podcast. And click the download button. I'm not exactly sure if this will sync up with your podcast apps on your phone, but you can definitely just put the audio file on your phone and just listen to it as an audio file. I think that's how that would work. But other than that, I think that's it for the week, isn't it?
Yeah, so next week we're going to be talking about the Killing Joke for sure. We'll have Ricky on for some video game discussion. Probably a little bit more wrestling, just because SummerSlam is the following week after this. So Raw and SmackDown will probably have some interesting things to talk about. But other than that, potentially the Star Wars show, if we want to discuss that. Other than that, we're probably going to go watch some wrestling, watch the match. But other than that, that's all we got for this week. If you guys enjoyed this show, let us know. Be sure to check back next week.
Definitely come back next week. Don't get sick of us yet. We are here for you to listen to us, because we could sit here and bullshit about this
all day. We don't have to record it.
Yeah, we don't have to record it, but we're doing this for you. So if you're in any way, shape, or form entertained by us, then just let your friends know and spread the word. And we'll see you next week. This is Dynamite Jared signing off.
And I'm Buddy the Bruiser signing off, and we'll see you guys next week. Take care.